do that. Like, if you have a test to say your baby is going to be, like my sister was meant to have Down syndrome. She's perfectly healthy. So if my mum aborted her, like that's a perfectly healthy baby. Like, so they're not, like the tests aren't, like,
some people
you can never
prefer
know.
to, just get
Yeah, but like she's like, just like me. Like she's, yeah, like there's nothing wrong with her. Completely healthy, no allergies, nothing. So like it's a pretty ridiculous.
Can we get 3
She was
minutes?
born Down syndrome.
So can we just get the results from that?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
3 minutes.
Maybe a question about teen mothers, the children were worse off.
Oh yeah. All right. So teen mothers their children are usually have a higher risk of being physically and sexually abused. They're going to have higher substance abuse issues. They're going to be lower academic achievers, and they're going to be more likely to be a teen parent themselves. Do you think this is an excuse as a young teen mother, like a young teen? Do you think this is an excuse to abort a baby? Because you know it's going to be already from the word go, suffering a lot worse off situations.
Not if you decide that it
So
won't
show of
be
hands
great
if it's a
one.
good reason.
It depends on the family support.
Yeah, it depends
Yeah.
who you are. Like,
It depends
Oh,
on
it's
you as
true.
a person, because someone just might say that's my excuse, I just want an abortion, whereas that might actually affect somebody else. I think it's so much
yeah,
different.
if you're a complete horrible person, you're gonna be a horrible person in 5
I mean,
years'
if this is a
time.
teenage girl that's had like 4 abortions in 1 year, as opposed to one who was with her boyfriend of like 100 years, who wants to, I know, at 17, it's a total different situation.
So show of hands if you would abort the baby if you're young because of those risk factors. Or you would get your partner to abort it.
Not solely because of that.
But it takes time to
big
influence it.
That'd be a big reason.
Yeah. So is that like 4 of you? Yeah.
Last question.
Okay, I present to you a scenario. There is a mother who has syphilis. Some of you may have heard this before. She has had 3 deaf children. She has had 4 heavily disabled children. She's now pregnant. You're the doctor. Would you advise her to have an abortion or have the baby? Show of hands to have the baby. Okay.
No, this is a trick question, I can
The
feel it.
rest of you just killed Mozart. So good job.
I'm not quite sure whether that was a focus group question. Right, interesting data. How many of you have read the book Freakonomics? In the book Freakonomics, they talk about the fact that the crime rate in the US in the 90s really dropped off, and the police forces of the US were priding themselves on the fact that they had better policing, they had better training of police, the correction system was working, they had less recidivism, all that sort of stuff. And then the economists went back and looked at the time frame when abortion became more freely available, and they actually charted the increase in the number of abortions and the subsequent decline in the crime rate 15 to 20 years on, and found there was a correlation. What was happening was that the criminal class, with the greater availability of abortion, the criminal class was being aborted out of existence. And so we had much safer places, much safer cities, when we had a higher rate of abortion, much greater community safety. I'm not saying that that is an argument for abortion. I have to say it certainly gave me a lot to think about. I thought it was a very interesting statistic, because it relates to that comment you guys made about, you know, the sort of life the child of teen parents or teen mother lives. So, all right, again, look, I have to say I'm really impressed with a number of things. One of them, and I've said this repeatedly, I know, but I think it's good to say it again. I'm really impressed with the maturity with which people are addressing these questions. I'm really impressed with your willingness to be open about these things. What is said inside this room, of course, stays inside this room, Chatham House rules. And I'm very interested in some of the data that you've got. I think some of the data, I'm actually learning a lot about a lot of things from the sort of data that people are presenting and the sort of questions that you're asking and the answers that are being given. So thank you very much. We will do the other 2 groups in 2 weeks' time. If you have issues with your portfolio, make sure you let me know before the deadline.